Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the first of the AI App Builders public open office. And I am pleased to be here, and thank you for coming along. I'm going to leave it a few moments for people to arrive, but until they do, I will also go over what we're going to do today. My plan, my plan is to develop a very simple iPhone and Android app. It's literally going to say something, and then publish that to the App Store. And we're going to go through the whole process of publishing that app. So this is the first webinar that I have ever done with Zoom, and so I will be asking for your patience in all of this. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, they will get better, I promise you. But for now, this is where we're at. Hopefully, the content will will override the will override the incompetence of my Zoom webinar skills. Anyway, let's get straight into it, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. There we go. Goes up there. And I apologize if my eyes look like I'm looking up because my webinar screen is up above the camera and my laptop screen is down here. So again, I'm going to have to work that out and maybe get a different camera that has a better angle. But again, content is what's important, not my webinar skills. All right, so we don't need my Zoom screen. We're going to go over to our friend in Famous. And before we type the prompt, we are going to switch to mobile app because that's one thing that everybody forgets, and we're not going to forget. So we're going to do it even before we start typing. Right now, we can select from website, mobile app, and crypto. And so you want to make sure you've got that set correctly at the very beginning. So mobile app is what we're going to be doing. Sorry, reading messages. Yes, this will be recorded and it will be in the videos on AI app dot builders. That's https colon forward slash AI apps. No, sorry, AI app dot builders with an S on the end. Okay, so let's get started. So let's just think of we are going to create a simple mobile app that tells the time in three different, simple. So I know we have a clock app already. The purpose of this isn't to show you my app building skills. The purpose of this is to go through the publishing side, and I need an app to do that. And I didn't want to use, I've already got apps that I published through Famous that are in the App Store, and I didn't want to use those to show you as a demo because they're already established. They've already been approved in the App Store. And, anyway, I would like the theme color to be heliotrope. If you know me by now, everything I do is in heliotrope purple. It's kind of my brand and should be functional on both Android and iPhone. All right, so it's simple, a simple prompt. We're not going to get complex in this. As I say, the idea is to test the publishing side of things. Well, not test it, just show you how the publishing side of things works. All right, so let's go ahead. Get him to start developing that. Why that's happening, I'm gonna move this Zoom window out my way up there. Why we're doing that? Anyone in the Zoom room already attempted to publish an iOS app? And let me know in the chat. Make sure you've got everyone on so that everyone gets to see. Don't know whether that gets recorded. These are going to get recorded, but I don't know whether the chat gets recorded. That'll be something I test out. So on the left here, it is creating a city time card component for displaying time in each city. It's creating a custom hook for managing world clock times, and it's just reading the package JSON. Move linear gradient, import, and use solid background color instead. Okay. I'm not sure why it's removing something. It's literally just started developing this and it's already removing things. Anyway, it's all good. I don't really care what it looks like. I just need to publish it. It shouldn't take too long. It's not like it's a complex app. Finishing up, Created a functional world clock in purple. Displays 3 cities, New York, London, and Tokyo, with real-time city cards. Responsive design that works on both Android and iPhone. The design pops with vibrant colors, shadows, and modern card-based layout. All right, let's see. Show us what you've done. While we're waiting for... Did this not create it as an iPhone app? Because I don't have... Oh, maybe I don't have device until it's actually built it. That's one way you can tell that you're doing an iPhone app. Yeah, this isn't an iPhone app because that's an iPad rather than a desktop. But you can tell you created an iPhone app because it has a device button here. But I hadn't noticed before that during the build process, that device button isn't there. What that device button does is it allows you to test your app using a system called Expo. Expo is pretty cool because what it basically does is it creates a spoof of your app as if it was already in the App Store, and then it allows you to install it on your phone. So you can actually touch and feel your phone. I guess if I had a phone in my... Wait, there we go. Touch and feel your phone and actually feel it like an app, which is so much better than using the laptop screen. I definitely need to sort that eye contact thing out because I would be really annoyed if I was watching someone and their eyes are poking out the top of their head like a frog. Okay, well, they're still working and not yet. I'm too afraid to screw something up. All right, well, don't worry. Hopefully this video is going to guide you through. And you can't really screw anything up unless you send highly buggy apps to get reviewed. And that's something which the testing process is going to stop you from doing. If you're testing everything on both an iPhone and an Android, and I am an iPhone user, I have been since the day they came out. When they came out, I lived in the UK, and I actually had one shipped from the US to me so I could have it like 2 months before it came out in the UK, just because, you know, like being an early adopter. Anyway, here's our amazing app. I mean, it looks beautiful. I might even use this on a day-to-day basis. And there's that device button. And so what we're going to do, before we publish it, we're going to go ahead and test it with Expo. And so you do need an app called Expo Go installed, and that's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store. And I was telling you that I ended up buying an Android the other day just so I could make sure I could test apps on both places. So now, and there we go, that app that I just developed is already on my iPhone. Okay, so this is the first step in the process. If you can't get it here, you're not going to get it in the App Store. And Fly, you didn't register for this webinar, so please leave me alone. I'm sorry. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It took less than 3 minutes to develop an app and already have it on my phone. Now we're going to push that to, there's nothing really for me to test here. There's no functions and everything else. It updates every second, which is pretty cool. I wonder how, whether that is just loading the current time and then updating every second, or whether it's actually using the time clock. And that would be something that you would test. Like, does it actually keep time, or is it being a clock by itself? I would hope it was using the local system clock and then working out everything from there. What time is it in New York? Is it even correct? Yes, it is correct. Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do now is very, very simple. And that is we're going to hit this publish button. Now, when I published my first app with Famous, I was really impressed with this whole thing. One, because I believe Famous is the only app builder that actually has this whole wizard to send the app to the app stores. But two, their help files are absolutely amazing. Or should I say, the onboarding of this, what we're going to see in a minute, is absolutely amazing. I was blown away. I mean, I'm a techie person, but I was blown away in just how easy it was to follow. Click submit to store, and then this, like I say, wizard comes up, and it tells you everything that you need to make this work. So you need an Expo Dev account. It's free. When I was doing my app way before Famous, so to give you a little bit of history, I developed an app. Well, first of all, I wrote a book, and then I wanted an app for that book. And so I started using another system, which is a popular app building system I managed to get it into the App Store. It wasn't quite the way I wanted it, but it was good enough. It had the features I wanted. And then when I found Famous, which is literally 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I completely rebuilt the app from scratch, and I now love the new app. And so I already had an Expo account, and I upgraded my Expo account because I thought I needed to some $100 a month account. You don't need that. You can pay as you go, which means every time you submit the app, you're paying a small submission fee, but the actual account is free. You then need a Google Cloud account, which is free. That's to get you the API access. And then you need the Apple developer account, which you will need a DUNS number, DUN number. And I've done a video. I will make sure that the link is somewhere. But if you look at my YouTube channel, which is at AI App Builders, just search AI App Builders, all one word, in YouTube, and it should come up. Make sure you subscribe. And there is a video in there that talks about how to get your DUNS number and how not to pay anything for your DUNS number. Otherwise, I've had some clients that are like, yeah, I paid $300 for my DUNS number. You don't need to pay for it to get your Apple developer account. Let me just read this question. So if for some reason the Expo button is missing from my project, is there a way to get it re-added? Maybe I should ask the AI. So if you created your project as a web app, which is the default building, if you remember at the beginning of me creating this, I clicked the little mobile app in the original prompt. If you do not click that mobile button before you start developing, you're now developing a web app, not a mobile app, and there is no way of moving it from a web app to a mobile app. You need to start again. And there's a video again in my YouTube channel that talks about that first process of choosing between mobile and web and why you would choose one over the other. But you cannot submit a web app to the mobile store. If you click on publish and it talks about adding domain names and things like that instead of this deploy mobile app, then you've developed a web app, not a mobile app, and you need to start again. Now, that sounds a bit scary, especially if you put a lot of work into your and I get how you're probably feeling right now. That being said, developing a web app first and fleshing out all of the features and things like that, that's a better way. Get it fleshed out, get the database structure in Superbase all sorted out, get your features done, get an idea in your head how you want everything. Then when you create the mobile app, now you're telling it to use the same Superbase app. However, get used to writing a command. Do not change data or structure when creating this app, as Superbase is connected to other systems that use the same data. Put that at the bottom of pretty much every prompt that you send it, so that it's not going to start messing with the database of one system that's also connected to another, and you basically keep arguing with them both. So you need to kind of tell it, hey, you need to be nice to this data. And if you need to add fields, let me know what fields you've added so I can make sure the other system is updated with that as well. So then you're going to go through the mobile process of creating all those features again, but it's going to be quicker because you've already created the databases and things like that. Let me just read these questions, make sure I'm covering everything as they happened. I'm almost done with my project. Is there no way to export what I've done? Well, no, there's no way of exporting what you've done. There are two things that you're gonna be able to do with what you've already done. As a web app, you can open it on your cell phone, and then, yes, I do have Blu-ray on my phone, and then you could add it as a home screen app. Now, this isn't great, but it's good for an MVP, a minimal viable product, and get users to start testing it and so forth. But if you definitely want it in the App Store, if that is your goal, you will need to start by creating a mobile app again. But the process is going to be so much quicker because you've got your database already set up, you've got the processes already set up, and now all you're doing is writing those prompts and saying, here's the access to the database, here are the features, here are screenshots from the mobile version of your web app. So squish it down on the app. I guess I'm sharing my screen so I can show you here. You've got this like on the web app, you've got a desktop and a mobile icon. Click the mobile icon and take screenshots of all the different pages on your web app, but from the mobile point of view. And then when you're prompting the mobile app, the new version, you're going to be telling it, here is page one. This is what page one looks like. Copy this screenshot exactly. This is the functionality that's behind it. These are the tables in Super Basic connects to. Here's screen two. This is the functionality. Copy the design exactly. Link to this. And so the process is so much quicker. I developed my redevelop of my app as a web app because again I made this mistake. I jumped into Famous and yay, I'm gonna do this, and then realized that I'd done the wrong thing. I actually quite like it because now my users can do everything on the web if they're at the laptop or or whatever, or on a mobile, and it's all connected to the same data. And so I kind of turned the oh my god, this is terrible, I've just wasted my life, round to okay, now I have a web app, I have a mobile app for Android, a mobile app for iPhone, and my users can interact with my ecosystem wherever they want to interact and not just on the mobile. All right, let's go back to this publishing screen. So you've created an Expo account, you've created your Google Cloud account, you've created your developer account, and don't wait to do your developer accounts until you're done because it's going to take a few days to get that DUNS number sorted out and get approved with the developer accounts. So go ahead and make sure you're doing that kind of at the beginning. Just get it done and out the way. So that way, as soon as you're like, I'm going to upload it to my developer account, you're like, oh wait, I've got a 5-day hurdle of getting all this done. So get that done. All right. Once you've got all those things, you're going to tick this little, I have all these accounts, and then click next. Okay. And now it's going to ask you for an icon. I don't have an icon, so let's quickly go over to DALL-E and say, please create a 1-to-1 ratio image for my world clock app. And then we'll just wait a few seconds for DALL-E to give us the best app in the world. Okay, oh, it wants some more. It wants some more information. Please make it heliotrope purple hash 8811DD. And you can pick the design. I trust you because it wants me to give it a whole load of details. I don't care. This app probably isn't going to get actually giving me the image, which is weird. Something wrong with DALL-E. Please display the image here. Something's gone wrong with the image. Is not loading. This is supposed to have been just a create me an image and boom, there it is. Click here to download the image when you're ready. Click here doesn't work. What's happened to DALL-E? Yesterday, the whole internet went down, and let's just do it this way. Can you create me a random 1-to-1 image for a clock app in, I couldn't be bothered to type heliotrope again. Here we go. All right. DALL-E's broken, but ChatGPT is going to send it to DALL-E and get it done in through the back way. Come on. Look at that. That's perfect. Here it comes. Ah, I love it. I love it already. I mean, seriously, isn't that the best clock icon in the world? All right, let's save it there. All right, we're going to go back to Famous. Which Famous window was I on? This one. Okay, so this image needs to be 1-to-1 ratio. And again, this onboarding process, it's got it all here. 1-to-1 ratio and 1,000 pixels. I don't know what size mine is. Just going to upload it and it's going to love it. There we go. Oh, I could have just clicked this. I didn't see this. This wasn't here last time I did it. I could have just clicked this generate using AI. In fact, let's just go ahead and see what AI generates. If we don't like it, we can upload our own. And I presume you can press that button as many times as you like until it does something that you want. Yeah, I preferred the first one we had. Let's put that back. It doesn't like me putting. Okay, little bug there. I'll report that to the guys. We're stuck with this one. This looks like a Pac-Man ghost. Anyway, we're going to stick with this one. And all right, so now it's going to want my Expo keys. I I need to stop sharing, get my Expo key. But let me show you where the Expo, no, I can't even show you where to get the Expo key from. You get the Expo key by logging into Expo when you created the account. So the login to Expo is expo.dev. And so yeah, you'll get the key from here. Expo.dev is where you go to see your builds and things like that. So I'm going to quickly stop sharing, grab that key, put it into, go back here, put it into here, and then press the next button so that it's not displayed in this recording that's going to be published. And, you know, I kind of don't want my keys to be out there. If I press the pause button, what does that do? Your screen sharing is paused. All right, I trust it, but you can't see what I'm doing now. If my friends are poised in the chat and you suddenly see my keys, let me know, please. All right, so we're going to go over to the Expo, and in Expo, we're going to go ahead and grab the API key. It's under account settings and then access tokens. And you'll need to click on create a token and then give it a name. So I'm just going to call this clock, generate the new token, and you can then copy the new token. Now, you only can get this token once. Okay, so once you copy the new token, you'll want to make sure that want to make sure that you put it somewhere. I wouldn't suggest putting it in a Google Doc, but at least store it somewhere. If you use 1Password or LastPass, those are great places to kind of put these keys in under, you know, whatever you want. All right, let me unpause. Hopefully you didn't see that. Here I'm on that next screen after I click next, and it asks me whether I have created the Expo project. So create a new project in the Expo dashboard following these steps. Go to the Expo dashboard, select my account, which is this one is the one I'm using. And here we're going to create a new project, and the new project is going to be called World Clock. Let's call it Purple World Clock, so that it is unique, because I'm sure there's other apps called World Clock. And we click create. And then from here, we've successfully created that project. And so we can now view the project. And let's go back to here and see what else it's asking for. Okay, so all it's simply saying is, have we created the project, name your project, create the project. We did that. So again, this step-by-step onboarding process is so super easy because it's literally telling you what to push, what to press. There's arrows pointing at buttons. It is so easy, and it won't let you move forward until you confirm you've done it. It is the best onboarding process I have seen for a very long time. Click next, and now it's going to ask you what your project slug is. And again, super easy. It's showing you the arrows of where these things are. Project slug, here it is. Click on copy, done. Go back here, paste it, boom. Then we want our ID, copy that, go back here and boom. And then the project owner, go back here, boom, 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 boom. How easy is this? It is just impressive. Okay, now we're going to be creating an Apple key. Okay, so again, I'm going to go to my Apple Store Connect. I'm going to pause this one more time while I go to Apple Store Connect, just to make sure nothing on my screen is there that doesn't want to be shown. Just give me 1 second. I'm trusting that this pause function is actually working. No one is shouting at me in the chat to say, don't do it. We're going to go ahead and log in, and we are now at the Access Integrations API screen. Wait, I guess I could. Well, let's wait for this screen to load. Make sure there's nothing on here. Just key ID. I'm not gonna show this bit just because I want to be sure that that stuff is secure. Let me just show this one more time. So here we are. We went here, and we're now going to create a new API key and configure the key. You must select App Manager for this key. So if you've ever connected a Apple Calendar to something, it asks you to create a service password. And this is effectively what we're doing here, is creating a service connection. So I'm going to name this key Purple World Clock. And I guess I could show you this bit. This bit isn't. So I clicked on that link, the link from here, and I landed here. And let's cancel this. I clicked on add key, and I'm typing Purple World Clock, and access is App Manager. Okay, and again, you don't have to remember all this. It tells you. Make sure the access is App Manager. click generate. So we're going to go back here and we're going to click generate. And then boom, we now have our key. We're going to copy the key ID and go back here and say, I have an API key with the App Manager access and I downloaded it. So click next. Okay, I'm going to pause this because I didn't actually download. Let me show you this. So on this screen, to the right-hand side of that key we just created, we need to download the key, and that's going to put it into your downloads folder. And then here, we're going to click choose file, and it's still downloading. So let's just wait for it to finish. I think that's done. Choose file, and we're going to upload this P8 file and click next. All right, now it wants the key ID, which we copied. Click next. Now it wants the issuer ID, which I'm going to pause and enter that. And then we click next. It now asks for the team ID, which again, I'm going to pause and enter my team ID. And then on this screen, it tells you exactly where to get the team ID from. It's under membership details on the left-hand side. And so to quickly find that, where is it? Say under account. Sure, you all staring at the screen shouting, it's in this place. And this is another reason why it's a good idea to put all these kind of things, your team ID for sure, in a place that you can get back to. I'm going to Google Apple Connect Team ID. I'm sorry, this is the worst part of the webinar. You can just sing to yourselves. I go to my YouTube channel, listen to my song that I wrote about app building. It's in the YouTube channel. Membership detail. You'll need to find this in your Apple developer account. Okay, so I was in Apple Connect, not the Apple developer account. And so this is now membership details and team ID. All right, I have found it. So I am pasting it in that box and pressing the next button. All right, let's resume the screen share. And now it's asking us to create a bundle for our app. So we're going to go ahead and open the portal and under identifiers, we're going to create a new identifier for our app, and it's an app ID that we're registering, and then it's an app, not an app clip. And then this is simple. It's world clock bundle ID, and that is usually in a, let's see if it gives you the information here, app and description. But yes, the bundle ID is kind of a reverse domain name style of thing. So we're going to call this com.purple world clock dot. Okay. And then what do we want to enable for its capabilities? We don't need 5G network slicing. We don't need Wi-Fi access or to access information. You don't need really any of this. So if your app is using payments, you'll need Apple Pay added to it. If it's using image uploading, you'll need permissions for that. I don't think we need, for a simple clock, I don't think we need any of this stuff. If you were creating a messaging app, you can make it so that it requests that it's the default messaging app. Same if you were making a competition for Waze, which I wouldn't suggest you do, but you can make it the default navigation app. So these are all options. If you were writing a health app, you would need to make sure that you selected the health kit connections. I have one client that I'm coaching with at the moment, and that's what they're doing. And so they would select these two to make sure they're connecting. If you're connecting a home automation app, you would connect for HomeKit, etc., etc. So I don't think we need any of these things for our particular app. So we're just going to click continue, but you would go through that list to make sure that you had everything that you wanted. All right, so we've done all that. App services, music kit, Shazam, weather kit. You know what? Let's enable the, oh, I can't enable the weather kit. Okay, probably because I don't have a capability of location or something like that on there, which is why I can't do WebKit. But let's just register. And now we have our com.purpleworldclock.app is now registered. And that asks us, have we created the bundle ID? Yes, we have. What's it called? Com Purple World. And this has to be exact. You can't put one in one and another in another. And then next. And that's done. Now we're going to need to create the app in the App Store. So we go over to the App Store Connect. So there's two areas to Apple. There's the developer.apple.com and there's App Store Connect famous.apple.com. And here's my two live apps. These are apps that have real users. The one on the left, the relationship equalizer, was built with Famous. The one on the right, it's been in the App Store for a few years. It's got 15,000 users, and that wasn't built with Famous. But I am considering maybe rebuilding it, adding more features and rebuilding the whole thing in Famous, just as a fun little project. That app does so much, so maybe not anytime soon. And here we're going to click this little plus button. We're going to add a new app. It's an iOS app, and it's called Purple World Clock. The language is clockish. That's such a language. There's the bundle ID. We just literally selected. And the SKU, if we hover over here, it tells us what a SKU is. A unique ID for your app that is not visible to users, which to me sounds like it should just be the bundle ID. But anyway, Purple World Clock, we will call it. And then access, you can limit which users see this app in the App Store, i.e., only show it to people in Texas for whatever reason. But we're going to give everybody access to our amazing Purple World Clock. We've got a question. Would we need any of that if there is nothing for them to buy directly in the app? A subscription service to the app would be different, I suppose. Yes, if you're using the App Store's subscription system, you need to make sure that your app is set up to be able to use paid states, whether it be paid for the app originally, paid for the app usage, in-app purchases, and those are all in those permissions there to make sure that they have that ability. All right, let me go back to our Famous screen. We did that. I've created my app. Click next. Okay, now it wants the app ID, and on the basis that this, where does it say it is? Underneath general app information. Again, that onboarding just tells you everything you need to know, and click next. All right, go to the Google Play Store. And so we've just done it for Apple, and now we're going to do it for Google Play. All right, so open the Play console and log in as the right user. Select your developer account that you created before. And again, here is the two apps that I have. And you'll notice that my relationship equalizer app is actually being rejected here in Google Play. And that is why I bought an Android last week, so I can work out why it's not working as far as Google, because you can't rely on the preview of Famous or Expo. You have to test it in real life. And there is a feature somewhere in that app that Google has rejected like 3 times so far. And then you can see how many installations of the Google version of this is nearly 2,000, and then the Android version, and then there's also a web app for my Jellycat collection. So let me just make sure I answer that question. Subscriptions. Oh yeah, so I covered that. So yes, you would need to make sure that you had the ability to purchase through the app. Okay, so in here, we're going to again follow through those instructions, and we'll go back here. So it says create the app, click create app. So look, there's that create app button. We just go in here and we click create app, and we follow this through in the same way. Purple World Clock. It's in the US. It's an app. It's not a game. It's free. And this is it, Chris? Yeah, Chris. This is where you would say if you were charging for your app, it's paid, and then you would get all the settings on the next screens of how much you're charging, if it's monthly, if it's a one-off fee, those type of things. We confirm that the app meets the developer program policies, and we also accept US export laws. So if we're sending this app to the whole world, we need to be aware that maybe Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates doesn't allow purple world clocks, because purple is a restored color for the sheikhs, and whatever. So you need to bear in mind that you have researched and you understand that it's abiding by those laws. Okay. We're going to create the app and we are going to create the app. Okay. And we are done. We've created the app. Did it create the app? Oh, yeah. Start testing now. How do I get my app? Let me go back here because I'm asking myself a question of what do I do next? Remember, the onboarding here is super easy. I've created an app in Google Play and we're now going to click next. And okay, it says go to the cloud console and create a service account. Okay, this is definitely something I'm going to pause the screen for. But again, steps you through one by one on here. I'm going to pause this, and I presume when I pause it, you just see what was there until I unpause it. Can someone confirm that in the chat? Just what happens when I click pause? Like I say, this is the very first webinar I've ever done um, with Zoom, and I'm also a one-man band today, so I'm controlling the screen, the webinar, the chat, all the things. Chat is disabled, but yes, it's paused. Okay, perfect. Chat is disabled is interesting because I wonder why no one was talking to me. Yeah. Okay, I need to work out how to enable chat. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate your support in my journey. Okay, so here I am. I already have a key for a service account, and so I'm going to create a service account called Purple World Clock, and the description is app and create and continue. I guess I could show you this part. So I just went through this create service. It asked me, can I get back? No. It asked me for the name of the app, basically. Selecting a role. Now, I'm sure if we go back here, it will tell me what role it needs to have. Create a service account. The name, the ID will be auto-generated in the description. Okay, so created a service account. Select a role. Okay, you've fallen down with me here. What role does it need? Click create and continue. Skip the optional steps. Is that an optional step? Aha, it's optional. Okay, Mark, that's me, is not very good at reading instructions. So there's me attempting to fix something I didn't need to fix. This is optional. We don't need to do that. We're going to click continue. This is optional. We're going to click done. And now we have that service account. So yes, I've created a service account. We click next. And now on your service account, click on the keys tab, add the key and download the JSON file. So I'm going to pause it while I do this just so you can't actually see the key. And we're going to move the chat window out the way and manage keys, add a key, create a new key. It's a JSON key and click create. And that key has now been saved to my computer. So we'll resume this. We'll say, yes, I've created and downloaded the key. I just love this. Someone has spent a lot of time at the Famous office. I take my hat, if I was wearing a hat, off to whoever wrote not only the system that allows you to publish to these places, but just the onboarding process. Alex gets a little bit annoyed when people say, well, how do I publish? And, he says it's all in the system. It literally is all in the system. And I can see his frustration in why, because I guess, people don't realize that this isn't your normal click publish and then you'll have to jump through hurdles and everything else. Yes, you have to jump through hurdles, but no, it isn't rocket science. Well, it is rocket science, but it's rocket science with a step-by-step guide of exactly how to do it. And now you have this video as well showing you exactly. So we're going to click next and okay, add the service account to Google Play. Now you'll need to install your service account. So we're clicking copy on here, go to your Google Play, navigate to your app in the Google Play console. So we're going to go here. Now it's logged us out again for some reason. Go into the developer account, go into our Purple World Clock app, and let's go back here. Go to users and permissions and invite a new user. So basically what we're doing here is we're telling it who has permission to manage this app. Okay, so in here we need to give it permissions. Does it tell us where we need to go? Click users, go to users and permissions. Okay, so not here, go back here, users and permissions. Again, I don't know whether you guys have the same issue, but I kind of tend to know or think I know what you need to do. And so I go ahead and then realize that if I just followed these instructions, it would have been so much easier. So we're going to invite this user, which is basically a Google service account. We're going to set app permissions and we're going to give it admin all app permissions. So we don't want an expiry. App permissions, we want to grant a permission. So we're going to add our app, Purple World Clock. We're going to apply and then we're going to grant all permissions, nothing else on this screen to do. Click apply. And so now we're inviting this service account with no expiry, it's very important, for the app Purple World Clock with all the admin permissions, invite user, send invite, boom, done. Back here, did we do all this? Yes, we did. It won't let you move on until you said, I've invited the above service account and given it the right permissions. I've done that. If you click those boxes and you haven't done it, well, that's on you. Now, one thing, someone the other day said, I don't want to put it in the App Store. I only want to put it in the Google Play Store or vice versa. You can skip the fields that it asks you for whichever store you don't want to be in and then just say, I did do that, but you didn't. Because it's not actually checking whether this is right. It's just helping you set it all up in Expo. And then it just won't push the, let's say, Google Play stuff to Google Play because it doesn't have the right permissions. I don't know why you would want it only in Android or only in Apple. You know, maybe maybe it's an Android companion and it only deals with that. I don't know. But anyway, that's what you would do in that circumstance. Go ahead and submit to App Store. Manual upload is required. Okay, so what this is going to do for the first time with Google Play is you're going to have to jump through some hoops in Expo to get Google to build the app, and then you're going to upload the build from Expo first. I'm not going to do that now because I've got 7 minutes left of this webinar, but again, it's very, very simple how you do it. Well, in fact, let me just go into Expo and just show you where you would get that build from. So in here, we would go into the world clock and we don't have any builds yet. So let's go back to Famous, or we can't actually do it here because we haven't published it. But once you've published it, you're going to have a build. Let's just quickly do it. Okay, I understand, and we'll do this manually. Take a screenshot of this, okay? This doesn't actually say you need to do it now because it's not there yet, but take a screenshot of this. In fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I will put this screen on the page that this video is on, just so you can refer back to those instructions. And then we click close. And you know what? Now, over here, our submit to App Store, when we press it, says the apps have been submitted to the app stores. What it's done is it's created the build, it's sent it to Expo. What Expo is going to do, if I refresh this screen, it's not quite there yet. What Expo is going to do is start putting the project activity here, and it's going to say, I've received the build. It's going to send it to Apple, which you can, and I'll do another video on this, but you can set up Test Flight. Test Flight is an app that you install on your iPhone, which allows you to then install your app as a real app. So now it's not just running through Expo, it's actually installed as an app on your phone and you can test it thoroughly. And that is something you'll do before you send it off to review, okay? Go back here and go to device and just make sure that Expo is building this. So now, when you are scanning this QR code, if you already have your app open, just go ahead and flip the app up so that it's closed Expo. And when you rescan that QR code, it's giving you a whole brand new build for that. Okay. Sometimes all it will do scanning that QR code is just open the previous build that you had rather than forcing the build to be redone. All right. That has now done its job. And let's just refresh this one more time. Nope, still not there. Let's just press submit to our App Store one more time. Maybe just a slight delay because it's a new project. Rather than wasting more time with the video, let's go and look at what that looks like for these others. Okay, so here's the last build. June the 1st was the last build. The App Store, it just went straight to the App Store. And then from there, I could use Test Flight to test out the app. I can invite other testers to use it. And so now I've got people all around the world testing it in their environment, making sure it still works. And before you send it to review. What you don't want to do in app development is send stuff and just hope it gets reviewed. Test it, test it, test it. Be sure that you've created something that's quality. You don't want to be known within the reviewing people. I'm not even sure whether they take note of how many times you got rejected, but I'd prefer to be like, okay, one or two rejections, that's fine. And that's why I went out and bought an Android, because this app here, well, it's just been bad and it just keeps getting rejected. But here is how you would get that build file. You would go into the build, click on view build, and from there you can download the AAB file. The AAB file is effectively like an exe file or a DMG file that you're installing on your PC or Mac. It's the install file for, or the build file for the Android. And that build file is what you're going to upload into the Google Play console for that first time. Once your app is approved, when you do the submit to App Store, the build will just automatically go, ready for you to click the review, jump through any hurdles that new build has, make sure the version number is incremented, because you don't want to be submitting the same build or the same version number twice. How do you increment the version number is a very good question that nobody asked, but I'm going to answer it anyway. In Famous, all you would simply say is, let's move my webinar chat out of the way. Actually, I could close that because no one's able to use it. So let's close that. And here, I'm going to say increment. So right now, we're just at one prompt, which is pretty cool. Increment the version number, only all apps were a one prompt app, to version 1.0.3. Boom. You press that off, and it then changes all the config files in the background, so that this build is now 1.0.3. Okay. You do need to use proper versioning numbers. If you don't know what they are, Google them and it will tell you the structure for that. You can't put version 74 banana. That's not going to work. In fact, I'd hope Famous, if you asked it to do that, would say, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. All right. That is as easy as it is to take your app and submit it to the app stores. The rest, once you're in the app store, is all about getting your app reviewed. All of mine are, well, actually, look, here it's asking me to prepare it for revision. And now we need to upload screenshots and basically go through and make sure our keywords are in and the support URL and the version number is correct, and any copyright information, etc. And then all of this, if you have a login for your app, you'll want to give a user here. Don't just say, well, you can create your own user. Give them a user that they can log into. If you have different logins that have different features, give them the different logins for each of the different features so that everything can be tested. If they feel that there is something in your app that's behind a back door that you're not letting them test, they're going to reject it straight away. So, these guys aren't looking at your data. They're looking at your functionality to make sure, one, it's not a rogue app that's going to cause damage to the user's phone, and two, it's good enough quality for whichever brand of store you're sending it to. I think that's everything. Anybody else have any questions? Throw it into the questions. Chris has been doing a great job keeping me busy with questions. Thank you, Chris. Anybody else, please throw questions into the questions. And if we don't have any more, we will call it a day. While I'm waiting for those questions, let me make sure that you are registered in my Discord channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also, when you're in your Discord channel, I am launching later today a prompt builder. A lot of the questions I get is, how would you prompt for this and how would you prompt for that? Well, right now the prompt builder is giving you those helps, but at the beginning, the feature that I've launched with this morning, although it's a little bit buggy because I keep playing with it, but this morning you put your idea in and it brainstorms with you and then creates you a Famous.AI approved prompt that has all the features and everything that you would need. And it will give you that in a great format. It talks about Supabase and all those things, why it's building that prompt. So rather than just saying, I want a weather app that's purple, it would brainstorm with you and create you the very best prompt to create a winning app at the end of the day. And so that is being launched in the Discord channel, my Discord channel, not the Famous Discord channel. And you would have found out about this webinar either through that Discord channel, so you're already in it, or you're on my mailing list, and so you know the address for that. That's it. All I have for you. No more questions. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience in while I learn this new webinar system. My Friday calls are going to be open to clients and non-clients alike. My Monday call is super closed down, but is more intimate for my clients only. So any of you that are clients, you will be invited to my Monday call. If you're not a client, hey, why not? Come and be a client, and then you'll be in my Monday calls too. All right. I appreciate you and have a great day.